Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope you guys are all having a good day today. Now, to step away from the Titanfall drama, I want to talk about a game that was announced last month that I didn't actually get a chance to talk about. And with a closed beta to this game that happened just a couple of weeks ago, I want to talk about XDefiant. Now, sorry, Tom Clancy's XDefiant. Man, R.I.P. Tom Clancy, man. I don't know what happened to the game franchise that Ubisoft has done to the Tom Clancy franchise, but man, oh man. I'm looking at XDefiant going, where the hell did we go wrong? So in today's video, I want to talk about it. I'm getting impressions from the mixed opinions, not only when this game was announced last month, but also with the mixed opinions I'm getting from the last week's beta that the players got to play in this closed beta. It's interesting. It's interesting to say the least when it comes to this game, because a lot of people were anticipating something else, and then this game gets announced and people are going, what the hell is this? What is going on? And I'm definitely in that boat of going, this is definitely not what people are asking for. So anyway, I want to get into this video. Hopefully I can show you guys some gameplay in the background or something to where you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. Hopefully not a copyright strike. Go figure, you know, in this day and age, I can't even show you a little bit of gameplay and stuff like that without getting a, you know, the fear of a copyright strike. So hopefully that's not the case, but hopefully you guys get to see it. So let's get into some opinions that I have of this announcement, because I will tell you this. When this game got announced last month, I looked at this going, what? This is not what people are asking for. This is not what anybody is asking for when it comes to a Tom Clancy game. Look, Tom Clancy games have been known for so much, man, when it comes to espionage, when it comes to like real world, you know, type of conflict. You know, big stakes are on the line between like Russia, United States, China, those type of dramas. You know, when even, you know, Division, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six. There's definitely those games out there that create that same atmosphere that Tom Clancy has been able to create in his movies as well as his books. So looking at XDefiant, I don't think anybody would actually have an issue with XDefiant if it wasn't Tom Clancy. Like, just XDefiant, I look at going, okay, you know what? Looks like a decent, you know, first-person shooter game. Looks like something that, you know, it might cater towards a certain type of audience. But you know what? I hope it succeeds. Hopefully it's a good game. If it's a good game, I'll pick it up and try it out and see what it's like. But honestly, just having the Tom Clancy name right before XDefiant, I'm going, what the hell is this? I don't know why that triggers me so much to be upset about it, but honestly, when it comes to Tom Clancy games, as somebody that's been playing Tom Clancy games for a long time, whether it's, you know, Ghost Recon back in, you know, 06, or even, you know, even older games of that, the original Rainbow Six, the original Ghost Recon, but, you know, Advanced Fighter, when that game came out, or Rainbow Six, Las Vegas, or New Vegas, or not New Vegas, but Rainbow Six, you know, Siege, and Ghost Recon, and Splinter Cell, and all these games. I know where Tom Clancy games come from when it comes to trying to tell the story of, you know, world conflicts and violence that come from, you know, his books as well as from his movies. And honestly, just looking at this as XDefiant, Tom Clancy's XDefiant, I just don't see exactly, like, I get it. I get what I get the concept of what they're trying to do. They're trying to take, you know, assets from other games, whether it be Rainbow Six, The Division, even, you know, the Third Echelon, which is, well, I'll get into it here in a second, you know, from the Splinter Cell game. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to create this, you know, I guess Overwatch, Apex Legend type of gameplay, but again, I'm not understanding where the Tom Clancy that just comes from. It's not what people look for and look towards when it comes to thinking about a Tom Clancy game. So honestly, when it comes to this, when it just comes to the name of the game, I don't think people would have an issue with it being called XDefiant. I think it just comes with the Tom Clancy logo or the Tom Clancy name before the actual title that I think a lot of people have an issue with, that it just doesn't really fit into what Tom Clancy has been known for when it comes to his books and movies and the video games that Ubisoft is going in. And we'll get into that as well when it comes to Ubisoft and where I feel like they're trying to take this game. Let's say this, man. This is not a game that anybody has been asking for. Like, I just want to be as honest as I possibly can. This is not a game that anybody has been asking for. Now, not to say that this game is going to be a bad game, or, you know, it's a terrible game, or that's not the case whatsoever. I mean, I'm hoping it's not the case whatsoever, but that's not where I'm going for when I'm talking about this. This is a game that nobody's been asking for when it comes to a Tom Clancy game, or what the franchise that Ubisoft has been doing with the Tom Clancy games. You know, with Splinter Cell, good heavens, there has been a new Splinter Cell game in years. I think maybe 2013 was the last Splinter Cell game. So we've been seeing, Sam Fisher and other things, whether it being Rainbow Six Siege or even Ghost Recon and stuff like that. But we haven't seen a Metal Gear Solid, Splinter Cell type of espionage, sneaking around type of game in a long time. And for Metal Gear Solid, being kind of a game in the past, which I don't think there's going to be any Metal Gear Solid unless it's like a remaster. That'd be a really cool thing to see. But the espionage, first person, sneaking around has been a dying thing for a long time, and we were really looking forward to, as fans, to a next Splinter Cell game. So when Tom Clancy, when Ubisoft was announcing another Tom Clancy game, I think a lot of people were getting hopes up for a new Splinter Cell game. But when this game got announced, that just was not the case. It was not what people were wanting. People that are fans of the Tom Clancy, genre or franchise when it comes to Ubisoft games, it just was not something that people were wanting or asking for. They were wanting something else. They were wanting something different. And I have to say this, Ubisoft has been able to create a lot of amazing Tom Clancy games, whether you're going all the way back to the original Ghost Recon, or the original Rainbow Six, even to, later days with the Advanced Fighter, it's the Splinter Cell games, and Ghost Recon with Wildlands. It's funny to know of where Ubisoft has gone with the Tom Clancy franchise, to where they're getting slowly farther away from what the franchise used to be, with creating a story that is kind of real world or close to real world, the way that Tom Clancy was able to create his storylines with his books and his movies. And it's just odd to see exactly why that's happening when it comes to people wanting to go back to that glory day of, experiencing the Sam Fisher, Tom Clancy, Splinter Cell storyline, or even in Ghost Recon, and creating those real world, type of environments of chaos within the world. And this Ghost Recon team is able to track down the threat and stuff like that. I think that's what people are missing. But I feel like, at least when it comes to Ubisoft, they're slowly going away from that and increasing. I mean, we've seen it in the Assassin's Creed franchise when it comes to microtransaction, but man, oh man, Ubisoft is trying to force a microtransaction system into these games that I feel like, at least in XDefiant, we are going to be seeing that hand over fist. So look, we'll get into microtransactions. Last thing before we get into that, I think a lot of people have been kind of crapping on the graphics a lot with this game, and that's the one thing I'm looking at going, it's not so bad. I think a lot of people are coming out with different impressions of the game when it comes to gameplay and stuff like that, and I totally get that when it comes to gameplay. People are going to be playing it differently. People are going to be liking one thing or another when it comes to gameplay-wise and stuff like that. But when it comes to graphics, I look at it going, you know what? Some people complain about graphics. I'm just not seeing it from their case. I think it looks okay. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I just say, you know what? It looks okay for this day and age. It's definitely like one thing that, look, when it comes to good things and bad things about XDefiant and stuff like that, I look at the graphics going, that's not that really bad of a thing. And I know a lot of people have been complaining about that as being one of those, things that just ticks them off about this game, but just at least wanted to add a little bit of good, or somewhat good, with the bad that I have. So last thing I want to talk about, microtransactions, man. Look, we have, like I stated just a while ago, when it comes to the Assassin's Creed franchise, we have seen the increase of microtransactions in that gameplay. When Assassin's Creed 1, microtransactions, DLC stuff was not so much of a thing back in the franchise when it first started. But man, oh man, going into Odyssey and other things, other Assassin's Creed games, man, XP, the grind, microtransactions is just one thing that had been filtering through these games, through the Tom Clancy, through Ubisoft games as a whole, that just makes people worried. It makes me worried as a consumer of this product, going, oh man, I'm not sure if I know exactly where they plan on doing it, but if they've been going like this, like in other Ubisoft games, I don't see XDefiant as one of those games going, yeah, I want to be spending my hard-earned money on a game that is going to be pretty much pursuing predatory microtransactions. And it's very similar to what they, when it comes to like thinking about Apex Legends, it being a free-to-play game, in the microtransaction system that they have in that game, I definitely feel like they are going to be going towards that end of the route. They're going towards that route of a free-to-play game, microtransactions, because they see that's where the money's at. They do see that from what Respawn and EA has been able to do with Apex Legends, Ubisoft goes, that's where the money's at. That's where the money makers are. So we're going to be trying to go down that route. So they're not going to be doing a BR thing. There are these, search and destroy type of games like Rogue and whatnot, but they are trying to capitalize on a 6v6 or 4v4, depending on whatever team base that you plan on doing, game mode, to where it's not BR, but it is a first-person shooter focusing on gunplay, even though there's like abilities and stuff like that in this. It just, honestly, look, as somebody that's been playing these games, as somebody that's been a fan of the Tom Clancy franchise for quite some time, as somebody that has been seeing the decline, I guess, when it comes to Ubisoft games, with the way that they're portraying gameplay and pursuing more microtransactions in their game, I don't have a whole lot of high hope for XDefiant. Now, don't get me wrong. I want this game to be good. Like, look, I don't want game companies to release a bad game. Like, that's my thing. I don't want them to release a bad game. I want every game to be good. However, when seeing this from just right off the start in July with their release going, what the hell is this, man? To me, that just does not boast confidence whatsoever, in my opinion, about what XDefiant is going to be. So, anyway, I was just looking at XDefiant. Again, when it comes to at least its release window, I'm assuming it's releasing later this holiday season. Man, is it going to be having a uphill battle. So I don't know exactly who this game is made for. Is it made for the Tom Clancy fans? Is it made for Ubisoft fans? Is this made for trying to get as much money as they possibly can from the free-to-play microtransaction system that's been done in other games? I just don't understand where it's going to be coming from. And again, as well, when Battlefield 2042, Halo Infinite, as well as so many other games released this holiday season, I don't know how many people are going to be playing XDefiant. Maybe I could be wrong, but it's going to be a hard sell, I guess, if it's going to be releasing later this year. So anyway, let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you guys think about XDefiant? Am I too harsh? Am I wrong about it? Am I right about it? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this upcoming Tom Clancy Ubisoft game releasing, I'm assuming later this year, between several juggernauts in its way. So let me know in the comments below. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and I look forward to talking to you guys all next time.